If things had gone a little bit differently one way or the other, it could be a different outcome.
Two 18-year-olds are behind bars after police say they found the pair outside Vancouver's Mountain View High School with loaded guns. According to Vancouver police, it all started with an online threat. A student saw the threat in a post on Snapchat and reported it. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Libby Dowsett. That post contained a threat to confront a student after class. Two patrol officers responded to Mountain View High and saw two people approaching the school. Both were detained and found to be carrying loaded guns. Officers arrested Mackay Parker and Xavier Johnson. Both are 18 and neither is a student in the Evergreen School District. Vancouver police say everyone involved did their part in response and likely saved lives.
The officers were there at the right time, and the student did the right thing at the right time, and everyone is going home safe tonight.
Both suspects are now in the Clark County Jail. They face several charges, including attempted assault and unlawful possession of a firearm. This is our first look at the man charged in the death of Beaverton's nurse. 27-year-old Bryce Schubert is accused of killing his neighbor, 32-year-old nurse Melissa Jubain. Today's hearing was quick, where a judge was appointed to the case. Schubert appeared remotely in court yesterday, but our cameras were unable to see him. He's pleaded not guilty to 3 charges: murder, kidnapping, and abuse of a corpse. Schubert is due back in court Monday. While investigators continue to look for leads in the case, Melissa's family, friends, and co-workers came together last night to celebrate her life at a Beaverton Park. KGW's Alma McCarty was there.
The moments that we had with Melissa are gifts. Moments filled with laughter, friendship, and joy.
Monday evening, friends of Melissa Jubain filled Ridgewood View Park.
I love you, my sweet friend. Until we meet again.
Comforting one another as they cope with the unexpected loss.
The ability to be together with them during this time really means a lot.
Last week, her colleagues at Providence St. Vincent called police when the 32-year-old nurse didn't show up for her shift. Days later, officers arrested her neighbor, 27-year-old Bryce Schubert, for his involvement in Jubain's disappearance. Then, after finding her remains, investigators charged him with second-degree murder.
We call upon, our community authorities and justice system to ensure that those responsible for this heinous crime are held accountable.
Mathe Chase, a fellow Providence nurse with the Philippine Nurses Association of Oregon and Washington, tells me Melissa Jubain won't be forgotten.
I'm here in solidarity with the sad news of her murder. It brings closer to our heart because she's part of our community.
I actually don't have words to say how impressed and heartfelt and touched I am to have all of these people here right now.
Kathy Keene, another one of Jubain's co-workers, remembers her as smart, fun, and reliable, someone with a big heart who would build community and lasting friendships wherever she went. Keene, along with so many others, are heartbroken by her death.
It's somebody that you love and somebody that you have worked with, somebody that you've been elbow to elbow with at a bedside when things are going sideways, worked with through COVID. I mean, it's just a very different feeling.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
We are hearing from the mother of a Beaverton woman who drowned over Labor Day weekend after falling off a boat into the Willamette. She says her daughter, 34-year-old Cortland Fricker, was sitting at the front of the boat with friends when it turned, sending her over the side. Investigators say she did not resurface, and it's likely she was hit by the boat. This past Friday, search crews found Fricker's body about a half-mile away.
And there were so many citizen volunteers that put their boats in the water to find my daughter. And there's just no words. There's not enough thanks that I can give these people for doing that. There just isn't.
Claudia also described her daughter as a kind and caring person. The family held a celebration of life Saturday. Authorities in both Oregon and Alabama are asking for help finding a suspect accused in a series of sex crimes against children. 39-year-old Adam Rank was indicted in Wasco County in June on multiple charges against a victim under the age of 12. Rank is also facing charges for alleged sex crimes against a child in Mobile, Alabama, but authorities say he left the state last month after posting bond. They say Rank is likely traveling in a converted ambulance painted white and gray. In Vancouver, a bomb squad detonated a suspicious device found in an abandoned home. This was on Northeast 133rd and Northeast 71st. A company hired to clean the property yesterday called Clark County deputies after they thought there were people inside the house. When deputies arrived, they found what they call a suspicious device outside the home. That's when they called the bomb squad, who detonated the device in a controlled setting. Outer bands from Tropical Storm Francine are causing widespread flooding in parts of South Texas. Francine is expected to strengthen into a hurricane today as it heads toward the Gulf Coast, making landfall over Louisiana sometime tomorrow. And we have a live look of its expected path. Parts of Louisiana are now under a hurricane watch. Francine is the sixth storm system of the system. All right, Rod, I guess we can't complain about our weather when we see something like that.
No, I do want to take a second and talk a little bit more about Libby. It's interesting to me that the wind has not changed since I first looked at it around 3 o'clock this morning. It's still holding as a tropical storm at 65. As Libby mentioned, it's expected to become a Category 1 storm later today as winds sustained around the eye wall reach 74. But the Hurricane Center was projecting this potentially up to 100 plus miles per hour. Eventually, it would be a Category 2 storm as it approaches Louisiana. That would be tomorrow afternoon or evening. But now the Hurricane Center is not that strong. It probably stays a Category 1 storm. The heaviest rain bands are now nipping the Louisiana coast, where there could be a foot of rain. So overall, if anything, the news is good because the Hurricane Center has backed off on the wind intensity of the storm from the earlier projections. Hey, speaking of projections, here's Futurecast around 5:30 later today, showing some rain nearing Astoria. And then this evening, 10 o'clock or so, rain moving in to the Portland metro. And that's going to eventually lead into what could be a stormy morning tomorrow. But for right now, it's nice everywhere. Here's Depot Bay, the camera from the Channel House along 101 there looking. They still have sunshine. Portland has sunshine. We're currently at 70 degrees. We'll be 75 at 2, 78 at 5 o'clock. And if you have plans this evening, there's at least that rain chance as early as 8 p.m. More on tomorrow's stormy weather coming up in my complete forecast. Libby?
All right, Rod, thank you. Tonight is the long-awaited presidential debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. That debate will air live in Philadelphia, right here on KGW and NBC, but it's hosted and moderated by ABC News. Tonight we'll have a half hour of KGW News at 4, followed by NBC Nightly News at 4:30. Then NBC's special coverage of the debate begins at 5 o'clock our time, with Harris and Trump set to square off at 6. Then stick around after the debate for a special edition of KGW News at about 8. Also, immediately following the presidential debate, the candidates for Washington governor will face off. Democrat, that is, Bob Ferguson will be debating Republican Dave Reichert starting at 8. You can watch that live on KGW.com or our streaming app, KGW Plus. One of the leading candidates in the race to become Portland's next mayor is facing questions over her history of parking and traffic tickets, and reportedly having her license suspended a half dozen times. According to the Oregonian, City Commissioner Carmen Rubio has built up more than 150 parking and traffic violations over the past 20 years, and at least 100 of them were sent to a collection agency. Rubio also reportedly had her license suspended 6 times for failing to appear in court and pay the tickets. The Oregonian found most of the infractions happened between 2009 and 2020, the year Rubio was elected as city commissioner. The paper also reports she was fined 2 different times for failing to update her vehicle registration, once in 22 and again just last year. In a statement, Rubio said, quote, "I've never hid the fact that in my younger years, I put my family, financial, and career obligations first. I now know and try very hard to never put my personal life on the back burner, even when times are tough." She went on to say the experiences, quote, "make me a better leader because I have greater empathy for people who've gone through similar things." Rubio's team also told us her vehicle registrations are up to date and all tickets are paid. The Willamette Week is also reporting another mayor candidate, previous traffic violations, reporting Renee Gonzalez was frequently ticketed for speeding, often failed to show up in court, repeatedly failed to display current registration, and twice had his license suspended. Meanwhile, retiring Oregon Congressman Earl Blumenauer will take up a job with Portland State University when he retires at the end of his current term. He will have two roles now, Senior Fellow and Special Advisor to the President and Presidential Fellow at PSU's Institute for Portland Metropolitan Studies. In both roles, he'll help address some of Portland's most pressing challenges, like revitalizing downtown. He'll also help connect faculty and students with the region's leaders and policymakers. Congressman Blumenauer will officially begin his PSU role on January 3rd, 2025.